Hey there, water signs. It's Shaniqua from What Shaniqua's Into, and we are about to jump into some tarot cards to see what guidance and advice Spirit has for you guys this week. Today we are using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. We are also using the Universe Has Your Back Oracle card or Affirmation cards by Gabby Bernstein, and we are also using the Personal Power Oracle deck by Deja Druitt. And the spread that we are using for this week are 4 main cards for the tarot spread. The first one being, what's the best energy to strive to embody this week? What is the worst energy to work with for the water signs? What is your energetic ally? And what is your energetic enemy? Plus an affirmation to lean on and a personal power to sort of feel strengthened by. So let's flip over and see what we got. I say we because I'm a Scorpio rising, so this affects me too. So the best energy for us to strive to embody is the 3 of Wands, and this is a repeating card from the collective reading that we did this week. So far, all of the zodiac readings that I've done have had at least one repeating card from the collective reading. If you missed that, I'm going to link it up here in the cards, and you can click on that to see what messages are applicable to everybody. But this is the best energy for the water signs to strive to embody this week. The worst energy for water signs to work with, wow, another repeater, this week is in the 5 of Pentacles. It's funny, for the fire signs, 5 of Pentacles was the best energy for them to work with, and for the energetic opposite, the water signs, 5 of Pentacles is the worst energy for you guys to work with this week. So that's just interesting. The energetic ally for working with the 3 of Wands, oh my gosh, okay, another repeater. Energetic ally for the 3 of Wands for the water signs this week is the 5 of Cups. And the energetic enemy, okay, I feel like I didn't shuffle these cards enough because there's so many repeaters. The energetic enemy is the Magician. Okay. I'm not used to seeing so many cards repeat in one reading. Like, the 3 of Wands was in the main reading, like the general collective reading for the week. The 5 of Pentacles was in the fire signs reading, and so was the 5 of Cups. And then the Magician was in the air signs reading. So the water signs are kind of like picking up energy from everything, which makes sense because you guys are like really psychic and empathetic. So I guess that makes sense, but it just threw me off as the reader to see how many threads you guys are connected to from the readings that I've done so far for this week. So that's interesting, but reading card by card, the best energy for the water signs to embody this week is found in the 3 of Wands, and this is the energy of like launching and setting things into motion for the long term. So if you look at the actual art, there's someone, like a pair of hands in the foreground holding a book, and it looks kind of like a book of maps, and in the midground to the background there's like a river or a path of like water, and there's a couple of ships on it, but they're facing away, like they're sailing away, like they just started off on a journey. So like, why would somebody be watching ships sail off or cast off looking at a book of maps, looking at an atlas? Obviously that person would have some sort of interest in the venture that they're undertaking, whether it be a business thing or like a project that this person is personally involved with. They're thinking about the journey ahead and sort of like plotting it out and like hoping for the best in a sense, because the boats have already set off. They've already like started, and this person on the shore is just kind of like reviewing, if that makes sense, like reviewing the plans that have already been set into motion. So for the water signs this week, Spirit is really just saying like, think about your partnerships and like who you work with and the things that are important to you to see through to the end, because what you're not supposed to be working with, like the worst energy to work with or embody, is in the Five of Pentacles, which is the card of like I can't, or like there's not enough, or feeling left out. So you see this young woman is like sitting on the steps in the cold and the snow when she could go inside and be in front of the fireplace in the warmth and be sheltered and protected, but for whatever reason, maybe because she feels like she has to, or she's not welcome inside even though the door is open, she is choosing to sit out in the struggle when more is available to her. She's got on like a little helmet, so she's fighting. This is difficult, but she's choosing to stay there. And that's not what Spirit is asking you guys to embody this week. This is really more about planning and setting things into motion. So if some of the water signs are dealing with like imposter syndrome or feelings of like severe self-doubt, this message from Spirit is essentially saying like, let go of that, because it's holding you back from actually getting started. And your ally this week, which is a repeating card, so if you've seen some of the other videos, you may have heard some of these themes, but what's going to help the water signs actually set those things into motion is dealing with the emotional baggage that you guys are carrying. So for many of you, there's a lingering, dwelling sense of sadness from some recent experience that you either have not processed or you're choosing to hold on to because you're not sure how you're going to be or where it's going to leave you once you've given yourself permission to feel okay again. And so like your ally is found in turning away from the cups that have spilled and turning toward the cups that remain upright, looking at what is, looking at what remains in your life, looking at what can fill you up, what can fill your cup, what can nourish you, because you've done, I feel like for most of the water signs, I'm picking up that like you guys have done a lot of that emotional work, and it's just about choosing to complete that circle, complete that cycle, and start navigating that that area or ground. Like in my mind, I'm seeing a plateau. So I'm thinking like level, figuring out the landscape. That's what my mind was trying to tell me. Figuring out how to navigate the landscape of emotional wellness. That is what you guys really need to do this week in order to set into motion something that you have firmly decided you want to do, but not started taking tangible action towards yet. And your energetic enemy is found in the Magician. So this was interesting because this card fell in this position for the air signs this week. But for you guys, I'm not picking up so much in a message of like burnout or like doing too much. For you guys, I'm hearing the word trickster, which is sort of like a reversed or shadow interpretation of the Magician. For the water signs, I feel like for a lot of you, there's someone in your life that is sort of like an energy vampire. Like they come to you with a smile and the guise of friendship and love and support, but really they take energy from you. And because you guys are so like empathic and psychic, many of you already know that that's the situation, but because for water signs, it can be kind of, there's like a higher chance of like taking on emotions that are not necessarily your own, just because it's so easy and fast for you guys to pick up on the emotions of others. So if you're not someone who's studied like psychic development, intuitive development, but you have heavy water influence in your natal chart, there's a chance that you have a lot of influences that affect your actions and your thinking without you realizing that you have in fact been influenced. So like energetically, ask yourself who you spend time around or who you have conversations with that afterwards, like maybe you get a headache, or you just like feel really tired all of a sudden, or there's like difficulty concentrating on like your work or something after that. That person, whoever's coming to mind for you right now, is probably like an energetic vampire. They're probably energetically draining you and like taking away from your emotional resources. And as water signs, that's really, really important. So this may be a time to sort of cut ties or redefine the dynamics of your relationship with someone or to something. Because like I get this sense that whoever or whatever it is, on the surface they make you feel good, like maybe even be very entertaining like an actual magician. But if you think about the aftermath of interacting with that person, and you know for certain that like spiritually, energetically, it doesn't leave you in a good place, like your vibration is not higher or at the same level as it was when you started interacting with them, it's kind of dropped and you have to get back up to your norm. That person is, or that thing is a negative influence and it has to go. So this reading is giving the water signs permission to take the steps to do that. Your affirmation this week is: attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. So I'm going to read that again. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. And I love the watercolor on this card because it just kind of looks like a starry sky that's like dripping down, because, you know, watercolor tends to have that very drippy type of art. But it makes me think of the star card in the tarot, which is about faith. And when I read judgment, it made me think of the judgment card. And so for this affirmation, I really feel like for the water signs, it's kind of coming back to this, both the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Coins, and the Five of Cups here. But it's making me think more so of the Five of Coins, just because there's the fear, the judgment, separation, and how all of that is a call for help. So if you notice, like, this girl has her hand like in the doorway. So like some part of her is aware that like she could go inside, but on the other hand, like the literal other hand, she's like leaning, like, you know how when you're cold you kind of like hug yourself or like find some way to like put your skin on your skin to warm yourself up? That's like what I see in her body language. That's what it is looking like for me. And her head is even sort of turned away from the door, even though part of her is physically reaching for that warmth. So in this affirmation, I feel like it's sort of like reinforcing that whatever you feel like you can't have, you can. And that if you need to ask for help, that's what you should do. That's what you should do. Especially if it's in regard to creating distance from people that are taking away from your emotional resources rather than adding to them. You can ask for help from the universe, and like that will be done. Trust and believe. As long as you trust and believe, that will be done. So let's see for the water signs what the personal power is. Okay, I am hopeful, and this is making me think of that Three of Wands card, like that launching, setting things into motion, having gone through the plans, having organized what you need to get in order, and then taking that initial action to start seeing it through. And I love how like the art on this personal power card sort of reflects the art on this affirmation card, in that they both have these sort of like soft purple starry skies. So for the water signs this week, you guys are more so guided to be thinking long term and about who or what might be blocking that long-term manifestation, especially someone who presents as helpful or supportive, but who on like a vibratory, like an energetic level, you know, is the opposite, right? So that is what I have for the water signs this week, being Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. I hope that these messages were helpful. If anybody would like a one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my website, writingwithtarot.com, and you can purchase a spread. Or if you have any questions that you would like clarified before you do so, you can DM me on Instagram, or you can use the contact me form on my website. Feel free to share this video wherever you think it might be helpful, or tag someone who you think might need to see the messages. And leave me some comments. Let me know if it resonated. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a like, and I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. I sincerely hope that you guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.